Welcome, everybody, to my Insane NCAA06 with 2022 rosters project, where the computer is CPU versus CPU, 10-minute quarters. That's about 160 plays a game. And every single game gets simmed. So let us take a look. It's taken me about 2 weeks to sim week number one. And number two, week number one only had one game. Arizona State 53-36 over Temple. You can see Temple jumped out to a good start. And then right now Arizona State took over. So let's take a look at every single game. That's going to be number one. And let's see everything to this effect. Iowa beat Ball State 52-3. Padilla had a great game there. Oklahoma outlasted TCU. They came back in the fourth quarter. It was 27-18. Oklahoma 15 there. Notre Dame outlasted Pitt. Notre Dame had a 35-point third quarter. It was 37-17 Pitt. They blew the lead and then blew the game. Right there, Ohio State 83-3 over Miami. In-state Alabama dropped 100 on Middle Tennessee State, 100-34. LSU beat North Texas 58-28. Right there, Texas beat Louisiana Lafayette. A lot of ranked teams versus terrible teams. Louisville beat in-state rival Kentucky 59-28. Tennessee shut out UAB. We'll see what happens in the next week. But Tennessee 58-0. USC 91-21 over Hawaii. As Moss for USC 30-40, 507 with 6 scores. NC State beat Virginia Tech. As NC State 36-24 winners. There, Miami beat Florida State 69-56. A high-scoring game, but Knighton for Miami had 266 and 4 touchdowns. Crazy game there. Cincinnati beat Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan didn't look good. Houston beat Oregon 73-38. Houston looks like a very good football team. Tune 28-35, 531 and 4 scores. Marshall blew out William and Mary. What do you say? William and Mary is Division 1AA. Minnesota beat Tulsa. Ibrahim 287 with 3 scores. 38-31. Tulsa was trying to come back. Buffalo beat UConn 59-10. Monroe beat Northwestern State, a 1AA team, 70-34. Washington State beat Idaho. It was a unique 21-3 game, and then in the fourth quarter they just outlasted them. Vanderbilt beat Wake Forest 45-14. 312 yards, 47 carries for Davis. And Toledo beat Western Illinois 115-21. 115-21. You could see Western Illinois and 1AA team. Toledo's not bad. South Carolina 69-7 over Central Florida, not a game. Central Michigan beat Indiana. Indiana had 35 points in the fourth quarter. Central Michigan was up 76-21. And then they just let Indiana score because they weren't going to get their players hurt. Utah 56-17 over Arizona. Utah much, much better. Penn State barely beat South Florida 39-35 in that game. Penn State outlasting. They got to do a little bit better if they hope to win the Big Ten. Michigan 87-0 over Northern Illinois, and well, that happens. Michigan State 86-35 over Kent. They really blew it up. Iowa State 115-17, another blowout over Illinois. Illinois against Rutgers, a good game, 40-25. Illinois wins. Good game for Rutgers, but just couldn't get it done. Kansas State 45-42 over Florida International. The Florida teams are tough. Florida Atlantic beat Kansas 58-40. They led 45-13, and Kansas came back. But they ended up winning Wisconsin 70-28 over Bowling Green. Georgia beat Boise State 65-20. Well, Baylor beat SMU 51-20 there. Missouri beat Arkansas State. They led 52-0 and lit up. But look at Arkansas against Southwest Missouri State 171-0. Their backups and everybody was getting in on the deal, but same with Southwest Missouri State. They were, oh God. UTEP 73-43 over New Mexico State. UTEP looking good. Northwestern 70-41 over Ohio as they pull away. Was 41-35 Ohio at the break. At the half, Maryland by 3 over Navy. That was a good game. We're going to get a lot of more good games coming up in the future. Florida blew out Wyoming 80-37. ECU blew out Duke. Duke, not that good. BYU blows out BC. That was a surprising game. Auburn, really good, blowing out Georgia Tech 80-14. Colorado State by a point over Colorado. Western Michigan over Virginia in a wild 67-63 game. Utah State blows out a 1AA opponent, same with San Jose State. 114-17. Oregon State, same thing, 101-point win there. Oklahoma State beat Montana State 58-14. Nebraska beat a 1AA Maine 92-7. Mississippi State 86-20 there. Cal 1AA Sacramento State beat by 88. Troy, same thing. Like, dear God, 161-0. We all know that they were terrible. UNLV beat New Mexico 34-7. West Virginia did the same to Syracuse. UCLA and San Diego State in a very wild game, 51-43. Clemson doubled up Texas A&M. Washington beat Air Force by 31. Tulane beat Southern Miss in a very big game, and that is it. So when we take a look at this, we take a look at Sports Illustrated, we're going to take a look at all of the polls. All of the polls, and we're going to go to the coaches poll, and we're going to go, actually, no, let's go to the media poll. Let's go to the media right here. Now let's go to the coaches, because the coaches is the one, there we go, that comes up there. So number one is going to be USC. Next week they'll play Arkansas, who won that big victory. We're going to see how good Arkansas is. I don't know if anybody expects. Remember, USC, a lot of these teams are pegged where they were in 2006 or 2005. But they're not exactly that good now, because these are rosters and ratings and all of that for now. So who knows where USC will be. Tennessee's number 2. They won 58-0. They play at Florida. So that'll be their number 2. Iowa's number 3. They beat Ball State. Now they play at Iowa State. It's a rival game. You never know. Oklahoma is number 4 versus Tulsa. Now they beat TCU, who's a really, really good team. So TCU is going to... That's going to be a solid team there. Number 5, Texas. They beat Lafayette big. They play at Ohio State, and that should be a very good one. Michigan beat Northern Illinois 87-0. Notre Dame is going to be a very tough game. Louisville beat Kentucky 59-28. They're going to play Oregon State next. Miami, they're going to play at Clemson. Miami beat Florida State big, but the question is, how was Florida State? You never know. LSU, big win over Northern Texas. They play Arizona State. I don't know about Arizona State. Remember, it's going to take 5. There are no injuries here. Adam Graves, 2 weeks, defensive tackle. Not Adam Graves. The wide receiver for Ohio State, he's gone 3 weeks For injuries, we have everything on when we sim. They're going to play Texas, and that's going to be a big one. Texas, not too bad. Ohio State 83-3. It's going to take about 5-6 games for people to really solidify themselves, and then we'll see that. Florida is number 11. They play Louisiana Tech after killing Wyoming easy there. Florida State will play the Citadel. No injuries there. 13, pull the corner. 2 weeks for Georgia. They killed Boise State. They got South Carolina. Might be a trap game. South Carolina not always the easiest. Purdue will open up against Akron. Alabama, no injuries, will go against Southern Miss. First two are easy. Number 16, Arizona State at LSU, no injuries. LSU, the heavy favorite. Auburn will be moving its way up. You know that, huge over Georgia Tech, and then they're going to play Mississippi State. They got to win that. Virginia Tech moved down. They play Duke, who just got killed. FIU against Texas Tech, they'll open this season. UTEP will play Houston, and Houston just killed their first round, their first team. I forget who it was, but they won by a ton. So Houston might be ranked. UCLA 51-38. 43. Sorry about that. They play Rice next. UCLA, we'll have to see. I thought San Diego State played really well. We'll just have to see what happens there. Cal's number 22. They killed Sacramento State, but they play at Washington. Colorado State, a point over Colorado. I wouldn't give that merit. Boise State was way overranked. Remember, this is the 2005 rankings. And they will play at Oregon State. And Fresno State will play Weber State to start the year. Additional details, there you see Clemson getting votes, NC State, BC dropping out, BC, Pitt, Georgia Tech, Virginia getting votes. I mean, Pitt, Notre Dame might be really good, so Pitt might win their way up. But I'm not sure they have the schedule to get really, really up there. They might make the tournament at the end of the year. The 10-team tournament after I'm done here. So that'll be the top 10, you make it. So, no, top 12, you make it. Top 12, you make it. 5 plays 12. 6 plays 11. 7 plays 10. 8 plays 9. And then we go to the bowl games. Not the bowl games, but the whatevers. That's the coaches poll, the media poll. Additional information: Texas A&M drops out, Georgia Tech drops out, BC drops out, Virginia drops out. Texas A&M gets some points. Notre Dame's moving up. They'll move up. Notre Dame's got the schedule to really move up. We'll have to see. When you take a look at the Heisman watch, Moss for USC, Miller Moss, redshirt freshman quarterback, very good. Stripling, for some reason, didn't play. Marcus Stripling, the senior from Oklahoma, the left end. We'll have to see why. Lynch, the kicker, was extremely good for the Trojans. Roydell Williams, 33 for 380 and 9 touchdowns. I mean, it went up. And Robinson for Texas, 33 for 451 and 4 scores. But those things are going to even out. I mean, they're going to even out once you start playing normal things. So the NCAA, week number 2, here we go. The entire NCAA, Warren Thompson. I mean, yeah, you're going to get a lot of stats that way. So, the ACC, there you go. We're going to go through all of these. If you want to see, there's Bijan Robinson for Texas, Nebraska. I mean, there weren't, in the Conference USA, East Carolina killed Duke. So East Carolina might be a good football team. I think Houston is going to go all the way up. I think they're going to be one of the best. The Independents, Notre Dame, of course. That's like who their best team of the week is. You know, in the Mountain West, the Pac 10 right here. I mean, you're going to take a look that you could go through all these. The Sun Belt, and then the WAC, and then the NCAA again. So, I mean, here are the standings. Here are the standings right now. So, the SEC East, these are the only things that matter right now, is the divisions. So, South Carolina's in the SEC. They're 1-0. Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Kentucky. The East is good. The West has all wins and a lot of big wins. But we're going to see people play each other in the next week. The Sun Belt, now Florida Atlantic just won a miracle game, but that'll be the next week. We've started simming week number 2 just to get games in. So the Sun Belt, Arkansas State, I mean, nobody on the conference. Well, I think Florida Atlantic and Troy, they're going to be good. They might make the top 12. The WAC, whatever. The NCAA, I don't know about that. The ACC, the Atlantic Division. That's the Atlantic. The Coastal Division, Miami is in there. Miami looks to be maybe a good team. We'll have to see. North Carolina hasn't played yet. The Big Ten is just all these teams. That's it. Remember, there are teams that are not really, I mean, this is the 2006 alignment with 2022 rosters. So the Big Ten, there you go. They actually have 11 in there. The one team that hasn't played is Purdue. The Big 12 North looks solid. The South, Baylor, Texas, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. Oh, what a crazy game that was. Texas A&M lost to Clemson. The Big East, West Virginia, Cincinnati, Louisville. There's Pitt, Rutgers, and everybody's played except really. But Pitt, I mean, that was a tough loss there. Here's Conference USA East. Marshall and ECU look good. And West, Tulane, Houston. Houston looks good. So let's see where this goes. Houston might be the team of just who knows how Rice will go. Conference USA. Independence, Navy, Notre Dame, Army, and Temple. Army has not played yet. The MAC East, Buffalo. Looking good. Everybody lost. Akron hasn't played yet. The West. Western Michigan, Central Michigan, Toledo. Ball State, Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois. The Mountain West, I mean, you're going to have some good teams. Utah, UNLV, BYU, Colorado State getting some votes. The Pac-10, Washington, Oregon State, look at this, all 1-0 except for Oregon and Arizona. Oregon not good. The Mountain West, we want to look down. Air Force, Wyoming, New Mexico, not good. And then here we go, the SEC, we're back there. So right now, week 1, 5 against 11 Miami, and there it is. Well, Virginia Tech got beat. Taking a look already in game number 2. In week number 2, the top 25 games, week 3, Iowa State. Virginia Tech will play Duke. Virginia Tech not that good. Oklahoma and Tulsa. Florida State, the Citadel. Texas and Ohio State, game of the week. Arizona State, LSU. I just don't know how good those teams are. Alabama, Purdue will play Akron. They'll both open up together. Florida and La Tech. Fresno State will play Weber State. Boise State, Oregon State. They might drop out. Notre Dame and Michigan, very big. It's going to take 5 weeks for real stuff to actually go, like to do it. The stat book very quickly. The season stats. Wow. Lots of stuff, and they're compiling everything. There it is for NCAA, your quarterback rating for passing. Your worst is Brett Gabbert from Miami. Ugh. Your best is this guy. 37 of 50, 644, 10 touchdowns and a pick. As they played really, really well, and they just blew everything out. Miller Moss is a freshman. Most yards, well, Rangel was absolutely unbelievable in the game today. Oh, dear God. He broke an all-time record. Attempts, that'll be him, but 79 for Perry. 59 for Jang for most touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 4 by Keaton Slovis. For Pitt, wow, did they just blow it. Longest pass, 88 yards. The most sacked quarterback, oh God, the San Diego State quarterback. Sacked a ton of times, Will Haskell. Kicking. Field goal percentage. A lot of 100%. Right now, I mean, look at the other field goal percents. 0 for 3, 0 for 1. There are a few that are just lost it. One guy 3 for 7. There are kickers that absolutely suck. The extra point, let's see. There's some extra points. Oh my God. So there are some that just aren't very good. So rushing yards, 451 for Robinson and Williams. Receiving 16 for John. Some of these have 2 games. Pancakes, NTN, very good. Defensive tackles there. Sacks, 6 for Oliver. Interceptions, 3 for Blair. Punting, the average. Behringer from Michigan State looking very good. Kick return, well, we have a few. Punt returns, wow, few. And there we go. I just don't, it doesn't really matter yet. The team stats, it doesn't matter yet because they haven't played an equal number of crazy games. But that's going to be it. Mike in a truck, good to see ya. I'm simulating every single game. Every game. I'm simming, letting the computer go. So there we go. All right, well, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a great day, Mike in the truck. Good to see you. We'll see you all later.